Hello out there. My name is Laolu Akonde, and you are on to Inside Sources. Today, I'm skipping my take, and I'm going to have two important segments. Inside Sources. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Inside Sources. Today, as we continue the conversation on the future of our country, I have a very eminent Nigerian who was in the Senate for 12 straight years. Before that, he was the president of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, is an active politician, and he ran for governor in Kogi State before. I'd like to welcome, for the first time, to Inside Sources, the most distinguished Senator, Smart Adeyemi. My brother, welcome to Inside Sources.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much. So we normally start with a broad question. I ask my guests that if you look at where Nigeria is today, are we on course to that great future that many of us believe is the destiny of this country?
Well, it depends where you want us to start. If I'm to look at the future of Nigeria from the time Asiwaju came into office, the present administration, I want to say that we have a great future ahead of us. We have moved from a mono-economy nation to a nation that has decided to diversify, to look at the potentials that are hitherto untapped. Asiwaju came with a vision. And I want to recall that when I was in the Senate, I served in the Senate Committee on Appropriation. And for 2-3 years, I saw that the ship of the Nigerian economy was fast approaching a huge rock. And I told my colleagues that by 2023, I hope we'll still have a budget, because the presentations before us then were just a statement of expenditure. Now, when you say you are preparing the budget, you are saying, in essence, you are bringing projections. You are looking at how to expand the economy, how to make corrections, how to introduce policies and programs that will help to galvanize the economy, that will create wealth, create job opportunities, you know. But all along, while I was in the Senate, especially the last 4 years, between 2019 to 2023, there were all statements of expenditures, repetitions of buying of equipment that were in previous budget. So I knew there was no budget, and I knew that the economy is going to collapse if nothing was done by 2023. So what I did then was to go to my constituents, and I tried to empower my people. I bought keke napep, sewing machine, grinding machine. Unfortunately, some of them sold those materials on the spot where we gave it to them at half the cost we bought for them. And I gave them the warning that, look, by 2023, the cheapest price for the pump price for PMS, we maybe 700, and they all scream, "It will never happen in Jesus' name." I said, "No, these are figures I'm seeing before." I'm talking on television, and last week I still reminded them when we had the endorsements of the president. I recall what I told them. They said it was true. So we saw it coming, okay. But at that time, I think the administration before this couldn't just help the situation. And the situation is, who will have the courage to remove the oil subsidy? It's only a man like Asiwaju with the courage to remove oil subsidy, because the oil subsidy was just a conduit pipe which some people are siphoning money to Europe and to America to buy properties. Okay? So it takes a man with a lion heart to do what he did. Now, yes, the economy is not friendly. Things are getting gradually better. But without removing the oil subsidy, Nigeria by today will have been a disaster.
Yes.
So most of the governors you see now, the campaign or joining the APC, they could see and they saw what Asiwaju is trying to achieve. Without removing the oil subsidy, there's no budget. So in the last 6 years, there was no budget. What we had as subsidy I mean, was just giving out money to some people. The poor man on the street was not really getting the impact, the benefit of our subsidy. Unfortunately, the pain is more on the masses, but it's just a temporary pain. Because and we are seeing things gradually improving.
Because I was going to say that the poor man is still suffering.
Yes, all of us are suffering. We are feeling the pain. But you see, we have the hope that already things are getting better. Nigeria was tougher last year than this year. So gradually, we'll now become a nation of subsistence. We'll be able to run our affairs. We'll be able to provide infrastructure that are needed to galvanize socio-economic development. We'll be able to create job opportunities for people. Nigeria is a nation that has been wasting resources in time past. Okay? The problem of today started some 20 years ago. Are you aware that there was a time Nigeria gave loan foolishly to World Bank and IMF? Are you aware there was a time Nigeria was hosting jamborees? We had nothing to do with, we had no master plan for this generation and generation to come. What was Nigeria doing with the resources? We were hosting First Tax 77, where all the idols of Africa were brought to Nigeria. We hosted Chogom. We were competing with developed nations. Whereas those were the period that Nigeria ought to build the infrastructure that are needed for the present generation to move forward, to be able to live happily and to live comfortably. So at the time money was available, it was a waste. But thank God that we had the president who came with the courage to diversify the economy. Most nations of the world passed through that were on the same pedestal with Nigeria. They diversified the economy. Today, some of them who were in our category as an independence, today they are far ahead of us because they refuse to subsidize PMS. You know, see, this PMS was just a conduit pipe for the powerful Nigerians to make money. I supervised the PPRA in my first tenure. And I saw how they do what they call round tripping. They wanted some of us to join. I refused. Some of my colleagues at that time, their cases are still pending in court. Okay? Who were involved in round tripping. You know, making the nation's economy. But Nigeria is a nation that people easily forget things. Yeah, they don't care to look at the back, to look back. So we came to this point due to maladministration, misplacement, deliberate misplacements of priority, corruption. Okay? And so all this. Are you aware I once sponsored a bill for death penalty for corruption?
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. You can Google it. I said, look, I saw Nigeria, I saw the skeleton, I saw the nakedness of Nigeria in the National Assembly. And I said, look, the only way for this country to move forward is to start killing those who are found guilty of corruption.
How did your colleagues, how did they take the bill?
Some of my colleagues, they made allegations that I was sponsored by Iran. I'd never been to Iran, I'm a Christian. But Christians and Muslims at that time in the Senate came together and they killed the bill. And they said, if we pass this bill, one day it's going to be used to kill some of us. I said, well, it's not everybody. It's only found guilty. So what I'm trying to just tell you is that it's not all of us who came into politics, came with the desire to come and look for money. Or some of us came that, look, let us add value. Let us make Nigeria a great nation. Let us diversify. Let us look at those loopholes that have bewildered our development as a nation. But unfortunately, even the masses, they don't really care about those who they elect to some extent. They just assume everybody is going there to look for money. It's not all of us who came to say, or who came into politics came because we wanted money. I've had cause to reject bribe of $10 million. I've had cause to say no. And I have record to prove that somebody once offered me and brought the money to my house. And I said, look, please take this money away. Okay? But in Nigeria, it is assumed everybody is corrupt. There are still men and women of integrity in the National Assembly, even at this present assembly, the 10th assembly. There are many who came with the desire to effect a change. But unfortunately, until we had somebody like Ashewaju now, who is showing leadership by way of diversifying, making sure that the loopholes are filled up so that we can have transparency in the management of our resources so that people can be paying their taxes. Is there any nation where people don't pay tax? It's only in Nigeria people don't pay tax. Okay? So there's a lot of things that before now people felt there was no need because we are rich.
Well, thank you for those very important opening comments. You know, so I want us to talk about a bit of politics.
Yeah.
But before that, I want us to talk about insecurity.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play a video of you in the Senate, I believe probably 2021 or 2022, where you spoke passionately about insecurity. We play that video and then we take a comment after that.
Okay.
We cannot keep quiet any longer. It has gotten to a point that we cannot sleep with our two eyes closed. We are not free. Our children are not free. The president must rise to the occasion. There's no nation that is so powerful that doesn't need support of other nations. Individual cannot say you will leave the world without any other person with you. So we must rise. The situation is our security system has collapsed. It has failed. And because it has failed, we need to look for foreign support. It costs Nigeria nothing. Forget the ego, forget the superiority of Nigeria in African nation. Today, we are facing serious problem. If our nation is to survive this period, I'm not in doubt that the security architecture we have today cannot cope with what we are facing. Every part of this country is threatened. From the north to the south, nobody is safe. Nobody can travel 50 kilometers in our nation. I feel like shedding tears for a country that we grew up, where nobody harass you when you travel from Lagos to Maiduguri. I done it in time past. Today, I cannot travel from here to Kaduna to Niger State where I was born. The president must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation. This is my position, Mr. President. We must rise to it. They are killing people in the east, in the west, in the south, in the north. We should shut down the National Assembly. Let's shut down. If we cannot save this country, we stay in our homes. Our country is bleeding. People are in poverty. There's no food. People are hungry. Insecurity is threatening us. We cannot pretend. It's better we are not here. There's the next thing that people are dying. Every day Nigerians are dying. We must rise to the occasion. That's for me, Mr. President.
Distinguished.
Yes.
That was a very passionate, by the way, statement, and it went viral. And I noticed that it has gone viral again a few days ago. Do you still feel that same way? Or how do you react to this? Looking at our insecurity problems.
At the time I stood up to make this contribution, I knew well that the bandits were building up across the country. And I knew that if nothing serious was done, in 2-3 years, they will overrun the country. When you have knowledge of interpreting events around you, you become a prophet. I knew Nigeria was not taking that war against the terrorists. The seriousness that it deserved was not there. So, and I knew in another 3-4 years, they will have institutionalized the same in Nigeria. And that's what it is today.
Wow.
This government came in. At the time Ashwayu came in, the terrorists were already highly formidable across the country.
They have been entrenched.
They have been entrenched every part of the country, from Zamfara to Ogun State. They were already in all our forests, up to Enugu, everywhere. They have taken over. And at that time, I knew that these people, they are just introducing themselves. As they were fighting, they were coming in. But you see, like I said, the passion for our nation, it varies with individuals. There are people who are in power. They came in just to survive and to go. They don't care about the future of the country. But I was looking at the future of Nigeria. And I said, if these people could kill 200 people in a day in Zamfara, at that time, I said, in another 5 years, we are not careful, they will take over the nation entirely.
So in the light of this, Senator, how do you respond to Mr. Trump's offer to help us deal with the terrorists? Because in that video, you yourself were calling for some kind of foreign assistance.
Well, I think foreign assistance must be by request.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I differ a bit.
All right.
Our nation should be the one to ask him, please come and assist us. That was what I was advocating. Not for another nation to say, we are coming to enforce peace. No. The handshake must not go beyond the elbow. Okay? If we're inviting you to come and help us, then we will know the condition at which
we agree to the terms.
The terms of our agreement of operation.
Isn't that, don't you think that we have an opportunity to do that by the way we respond to Mr. Trump?
Well, that can still be done, but it should not be a situation where we are compelled to. Okay, because of our sovereignty as a nation.
Right.
That is it. And I will tell you that the issue of genocide, it depends on how you see it. It has been on for a long time in Nigeria.
Yeah.
The difference is this: the terrorists, they started from the north.
Yeah.
Now, when there is a mass killing of people who share many things in common, it is not seen as genocide. Because when the terrorists were killing, they recite some of their some portion of what they believe. Okay, and say they have a right to kill people. Okay, now with that you can't call that a genocide because they are not. There's nothing. They have many things in common with the people they are killing.
Yeah.
But when it moves beyond that level to people of different faiths
and their communities
and tribe, then become a genocide. So massacre is as good as genocide. It depends on where it is being the location
and the people that didn't target.
Yes. So if somebody says you and I were of the same religion and is killing your brother and your sister, and he said we have the same tribe, maybe, or we have many things in common linguistically, we are related. Now, when you now go to another man's land where you have nothing in common, then the definition of massacre
becomes
genocide.
So what will you advise President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? I know that you are his ally. You've been very close to him, for good causes, by the way, knowing about this. How will you advise him to handle the situation? I mean, I agree with you that this problem has been on before him, it's cumulative, and I don't hold him responsible for that. But now, he is the one in charge. How should he deal with this offer? I agree with you that it shouldn't go, and handshake shouldn't go beyond
the elbow.
Very, very, but I think, in my view, there's an opportunity for us to get the cooperation of the Americans to help us, solve this problem. That's my view. What do you think, Senator?
I believe there's a need for foreign support on this problem, but I believe it should be negotiated. For how long? What is the duration that you want to help us? Okay? I believe. But where that is not existing at all, it becomes another form of colonialism, neo-colonialism, you may say. So I believe that we need support. But the support must not come by way of a force.
I know, but I'll tell you that, what do you advise President Tinubu to do specifically?
Okay, I'm aware that some 2 months ago, there were requests from the federal government to purchase ammunition worth about $500 million US. Okay. This government.
Okay.
This Ashwaji government.
Okay.
They are in that process to acquire these weapons.
Okay.
Because the people, the terrorists, they even have more sophisticated weapons than our army, our soldiers.
It's very embarrassing.
So, you understand? But this is not the fault of this administration. These are things ought to have been done 8-10 years ago.
True.
But they were not done. Okay? So it's just like the economy of Nigeria. When we ought to build a solid base, infrastructures, we didn't do it. Our roads are bad. They said we should privatize. Not many things that ought to have been done 15, 20 years ago. They were not done at that time. We were hosting jamborees everywhere. Nigeria, with nothing to show for it. Now, what I'm saying, in essence, is that I'm sure of that already. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is taking some steps. Before now, 2 months ago, you can Google it. It was published. About 350 force instance or 250, about $500 million worth of dollar worth of ammunitions by Ashwaji administration. That is the highest allocation to purchase ammunition for Nigeria in the last 5-10 years.
Right.
Okay. So I know he's very serious and passionate about the situation, but again, it takes time. So if it will take time, the people that we are asking to supply us this ammunition, the US, is the same country that is saying they want to come without our invitation. Okay, so I think we should negotiate. That we needed support is not in doubt. But this support that we will require, you cannot be more Catholic than the Pope.
Okay.
So they should let us agree what the basis and the conditions.
Okay.
And they should be educated that the issue of genocide is not a matter of today. Like I said, the terrorists claim that they are Muslims. They claim they are Muslims.
Yeah, of course.
So, and they are killing fellow Muslims in the north.
Right.
In their thousands.
Yes.
Borno, Yobe, Zamfara, Sokoto, Niger. All these states, if you can go there and let us have the statistics, the number, thousands of people that have been killed.
Yeah.
But you see, the world didn't see it as a genocide. They said
because
it's a massacre because
it's among the same.
It's the same faith.
Right.
Now, when you now move from that territory, the definition differs. It becomes a genocide. So this is where it is.
This is a very good insight, Senator, that you have shared. And I'm not surprised. I mean, you're not just a senator, you were also a journalist for a long time. Very, very important insight. All right, let's segue to politics, and I wanted to ask you, you ran for governor in Kogi State. You've been a very active, politician there. And I see that recently you came up again. You've been silent for a long time, but recently you came up as the chairman of the planning committee to endorse President Tinubu and Governor Ududu for second time. But you had wanted to be governor yourself. Tell us, what's been going on.
You see, when I was in school, when I was in secondary school, I took interest in reading newspapers and listening to radio. There was one politician that influenced my thinking about what politics should be. His name?
Yeah.
Late Ibrahim Waziri, the presidential candidate of GNPP.
Great Nigerian.
He came with a philosophy, politics without bitterness. That was in their generation. Today, to me, politics could lead to bitterness, but it must not be forever. It must not be everlasting.
Yeah. It will be permanent bitterness.
No. There's no permanent enmity.
Enemies.
No. So for me, I look at that philosophy of Ibrahim Waziri, politics without bitterness at that time. But this time, with small bitterness. And after a while, you let go. Now, that makes you a statesman. Okay? If the essence is to serve, that must not be a do or die affair. So my state is currently doing well. We have a gentleman governor, and he's been backed by opinion leaders, including Yaya Bello, the former governor.
Okay.
Yes, he's the first to reckon with, and together that explains why we had the endorsement of Asiwaju. And the crowd that you saw there is unprecedented. And they came not just because of the governor; they came because they are seeing Yaya Bello for the first time after he left office. And he built people. You see, when you perform well, when you touch the life of the ordinary Nigerians, they know. When you have a good determination to change their life, they know. When my party came to a conclusion that there was a need for endorsement of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I jumped for it because I believe in this administration. I believe that Asiwaju is a man who is passionate about the well-being of Nigerians. If you know him as a person, you can only compare Asiwaju with maybe Abiola in terms of giving, helping people, training children that he doesn't even know their parents.
This is true.
Now that kind of a man wouldn't want to be president and impose pains on the people. No, he wouldn't want to, because he himself is a giver. Apart from that, look at the wife. She has been going around the state of the federation, distributing palliative into billions, donating. So these are people that I knew about 30 years ago. And I know well that they mean well for the country. They want to move Nigeria from being a third world country to maybe in the category of the Asian nations. Now, Asiwaju is visionary. If you look at his antecedent in Lagos, you have every reason to believe that he's a leader. He laid a good foundation of succession in Lagos State. Today, Lagos State is one of the fastest growing states in Africa, or political entity in Africa.
True.
The foundation was laid by Asiwaju, not without pains. Many things were done in Lagos. Some houses were pulled down to give way for development. Okay, look at most of the states of the federation today. They are doing excellently well.
True.
Why are the governors jumping to APC? They are jumping to APC because today they have a lot of money in their hands, and they are the people enjoying the pains of Asiwaju. Asiwaju is being called all sorts of names by Nigerians that is imposing pains. Asiwaju will not give you bread. The governors and the local government are the people who are to provide the bread to you. He is to provide the enabling environment,
right?
Provide the resources to the governors. And in many states today, look at the whole of the Southeast. All the governors are doing very well. Look at Kano, look at Kaduna, look at Niger, look at Kwara, look at Kogi, look at Borno. Many of the states of the federation, virtually all the states, because there's a lot of resources. Look at Yobe. I saw what all those things. Katsina, I saw all that they are doing. Because Asiwaju is giving the states a lot of money that they never had before. Now, the question now is that who is bearing the pain, the insult? It's Asiwaju and the wife. People call them all sorts of names, but they forget the fact that this policy is for the benefit of the people. It is the governors and the local government who should provide directly resources and means to improve the well-being of their people. The federal government is to put the policy that will make available the resources, which they are doing. You know, many states are going into mass transit to make movement of goods and services much easier for their people. Today, Asiwaju's government is constructing roads that we've never seen in many parts of Africa, apart from maybe the North Africa countries. Concrete slab. Look at Lokoja to Abuja, Abuja to Kanu, to Zaria. You see all the road. Look at the coastal road. Look at the Badagry Lagos road. If all these projects are completed, this road, it makes movement of goods and services very, very, very short hours of duration. So for me, he's putting on the infrastructure, and I felt he deserves a second term. I'm convinced that I don't know the other candidate that you say they are contesting, but I do know that Asiwaju deserves second term because of his vision, because of his determination to change Nigeria for good. No government is perfect.
Of course.
Make no mistake. But this government is visionary.
Let's talk about the opposition, Senator, as we begin to conclude.
Yes.
First of all, you know, I'll ask two questions, you know, together. First of all, do you think that the opposition is threatened that we might actually have a one-party state? That's number one. And then number two, I want you to put it together. You said that who are the other candidates? Well, you know, we have Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
Okay.
We have Mr. Peter Obi. We even have Mr. Rotimi Amechi. Are you saying that these people can't go head to head against the president? So two questions in one as we conclude.
Well, I think Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is unfair to Nigerians if he's saying he wants to be president again. One, he presided over privatization that brought poverty, pains, agonies to Nigerians. Ajaokuta Iron and Steel was sold for less than the amount of goods already produced there. Okay? So that is one thing. Two, a man who wants to be president must be seen as a statesman. The only way you can define Atiku as a statesman is that he succeeded in marrying a Yoruba woman, an Igbo woman. But in terms of serious national issues like this banditry, he has kept quiet. I was a member of the ECOWAS Parliament. There was a time where to give appointment to somebody between two candidates. One is a Yoruba man from Togo. The other is an Igbo man. So the Yoruba guy came to me, who is not in Nigeria, Yoruba Togo.
We're from Togo.
You know, we have about 7 to 8 countries where you have Yorubas. Yoruba-speaking people, but they are not Nigerians. So we wanted to use Yoruba sentiment. I said, no, I told him you must be stupid. I should leave in Nigerian because I share sentiment of language with you. No. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that, why is it that Atiku Abubakar, up to today, have not been able to condemn the terrorists, the killings, and you want to be our president? I think you should go and rest. Now, you talked about who again?
Peter Obi.
Peter Obi. See, make no mistake, like other major tribes of Nigeria, and with Nigeria generally, the Igbos are highly intelligent people, highly endowed people. The Igbos can produce president for all the nations in Africa. They have the manpower. Like Yoruba people, like Hausa people. Yes. But I don't see this Peter Obi as somebody who should be the ambassador, who to be president. No. This is a man who lied on television. He said he never sat with Abacha before, or with military government. They produced the picture where he was taking tea with Abacha. The money, his wealth emanated from the contract they gave to him to
clear the ports.
To clear the port in Lagos. Okay? And he has never been, I've never had any theory from him in order to revamp the economy. That he has not come out with any different opinion that can convince me that this will deliver us. So I think Obi is carrying his luck too far. You know, when you see when you see an elephant, you don't need to be told it's an elephant. What about in the case of
Can you tell our audience?
In essence, Kengiwa Bandayarawa, I'm saying that Giwa is an elephant.
Okay.
So you don't the elephant is not for the children to say they want to carry up. So Peter Obi should please, I think it's just adding comedy to.
But he had a very good performance in 2023.
How do you define that?
Where the votes?
In 2023.
Yes.
Because of the fear of some Christians that Muslim ticket may be a weapon to oppress them. But the reverse is the case. Ashwaju doesn't bother about your religion. Can you imagine he was the first head of government of Nigeria to visit Rome when the Pope was being installed, right. The coronation of the Pope. Okay, and don't forget that distinguished senator, First Lady Tinubu,
right.
She's a pastor of regime.
True.
Okay, so those are the things that will be capitalized on. But those factors have been neutralized. Nobody will consider religion. Now, Obi should forget about the vote that he had. He will pray to God to have 1/4 of that vote now.
Wow.
Not even in the Southeast.
What about people like Amechi and El Rufai, who are also active in the opposition?
You see, man like El Rufai, he lied to Nigerian people. He condemned terrorism and condemned this administration of Obasani that they were giving money to bandits. Of course, the internet doesn't forget. So they brought his interview where he said, yes, I gave money to terrorists.
I saw that too.
So that alone tells you who he is.
Yeah, he said that there was a committee that recommended that he should do that.
Well, but he denied doing it. So El Rufai, apart from that, El Rufai was equally involved in privatization. Before privatization, Pojo was functioning well. Volkswagen in Badagry was operating. NEPA was even better than it is today. All the assets of Nigeria were sold. They were sold overnight that nobody could actually tell you as to what is the benefit of privatization today. Because federal government is still bankrolling some of these national utilities companies. Okay, why is Nigeria having large unemployed people? Because of privatization. We were told that privatization will create job opportunities. It will expand the economy. They sold our collective wealth. To who? To their cronies.
Well, at least we have to give them the credit for the GSM.
The GSM.
Yeah, so maybe you give them 1/10.
No, they didn't bring the GSM. It was President Obasanjo that brought the GSM.
But Rufai served under him.
Notwithstanding, he was not the head of state.
I agree.
He was not the president. See, all these people, I want to tell them that I think they should go and rest. You know, all these people say they want to be president because you see, the head of the elephant is not what a child will carry. It's not what they can carry. And they don't have the capacity. They have not proven to Nigeria that they have the capacity. Ask Mala El-Rufai, why is it that there's no more killing in Kaduna?
After he left.
After he left, what is the magic that he couldn't do? That they were killing Christians in Kaduna. Why is Mala El-Rufai was unable to do that? So tell me how you will run Nigeria when the state you left is better, more more
peaceful than when you were there.
When he was there. Look, don't let me drag some people to the dry cleaners. They should just leave Asiwaju because, you see, God has destined Asiwaju to be here for the next 8 years. And he's doing well, and he's lucky he's having a woman who is equally backing the husband, moving around the state, giving women palliative in their millions. Okay? And I will tell you that El-Rufai should go and rest because they have nothing to offer.
Wow.
What they think they can offer, the sentiment will not hold water. And you don't call, you see, the Aṣíwájú is to run 8 years. It is the time for the South. You know, I am a Yoruba man from Kogi. But I'm a Northerner.
Exactly.
Okay? And I'm proud of it that I'm a Northerner.
Absolutely.
But let me just tell you this. It is not our time on the North. You don't, you know, Yoruba will say, Oba Asikulaye.
Yeah, Oba Mewa.
Oba Mewa, Oba Mewa. Serikin Goma, Zamani Goma. That's what they put in Hausa.
Yeah.
And Ba Arege Zamani. You know what it means?
No.
You don't cut the tenure of somebody. You don't shorten the period of somebody to govern. So Serikin Goma, Zamani Goma. Loku Gafili Gadoki Gamihawa. Let me tell you, Aṣíwájú is too big for them. Too big because we are seeing what he's doing. All this sentiment, all this pain, they are temporary. This is a man who is building a Nigeria of the future with the wife. We are seeing them, we are educated, we are not illiterate. We know that they have vision, they have determination to take Nigeria to a higher level.
Okay.
And for anybody to want to derail this,
Yes.
I think he wants to put Nigeria in a big jeopardy.
Thank you so much, for your contributions. Thank you for your voice. Thank you because even when you were a journalist, you became the president of NUJ, you've always had a very strong voice. And thank you for coming to Inside Sources.
It's my pleasure.
All right.